Hello everyone, welcome and thank you for joining today's session. At the Sky, we truly value the power of knowledge sharing. Our goal is to keep industry professionals informed and inspired by showcasing the best practices followed by successful shopping centers worldwide. Our sessions are led by distinguished industry leaders who have made notable contributions to their fields. They bring first hand insights and practical strategies that have driven exceptional results in real world operations. Today's webinar is especially noteworthy, featuring 5 highly respected experts who will be sharing their extensive experience and expertise. The focus of today's session is facility management in shopping malls, challenges and solutions. Let's meet the inspiring group of industry leaders who have with us today. Sunil Shroff, he is Chief Portfolio Officer, Operations, Lakeshore, India. Amit Suryavanshi, Director, Unify Facility Management. Ashwin Balasubramaniam, Managing Director, Brookefield. Atul Saxena, he is a Senior Vice President and Head of Operations in Pacific Development Corporations Limited. Manoj Parekh, he is CEO, OCS Group, India Operations. Sunil Shroff will moderate the session. So before I hand over it to Sunil, viewers, feel free to submit your questions. The panel will address them at the end of the session. So over to Sunil. Sunil, all yours.
Thanks, Sanjeev. And once more, thanking Sky under the leadership of Anjeev to come up with interesting topics and keep pushing us and getting a group like this together. Thanks a lot, Anjeev, to you and Sachin. It's a pleasure to be here. Take this opportunity once more to welcome the dignitaries along with me. Atul, good to see you. Thanks for joining in. Same with Ashwin. Thanks for joining in. We've always been hearing about the city because of you, Coimbatore. So welcome on board. Amit, thanks a lot for joining in your busy schedule. It would be really good to see your viewpoint. You all are the newest kid on the block who have expanded greatly across India. So good to get your perspective. Manoj, you've been here in the industry long. Would like to have the perspective and discuss and debate, wherein this is a platform where we as mall owners would like to work along with people like you and Amit and take the industry to a different level where we are very close to international standards and not far behind. So I'll start. Would like to start off with the first question to my panelist, wherein I would request Ashwin and Atul to emphasize, we as mall owners across the years, across decades in our country, have been figuring out this 2 or 3 main problems in our busy season, year around, when we look at an agency to develop a team from our own side. The quality of staff, the training of staff, availability year around, and certain things impacting us also on the commercial aspect. I would like Atul Saxena to take up this point and start off the discussion on this concerns which we have gone through and solved it in our own different ways. Atul, you're on mute. If you could just unmute yourself.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Sunil, for this point. Major thing, if we talk about these, manpower management, manpower availability, quality of the resources and all that. First of all, I think we need to understand that this is the one of the key part of our overall property management or facility management, because we spend a lot of thing on this on manpower cost. Uh, Facility management being service is fully dependent on the quality of people, right? So whatever we do is actually, we are not making any product. We are not a manufacturing company. We are the facility management or service provider, or this can be in mall and in your commercial setup or somewhere else. But when we are managing the real estate portfolio or the real estate properties in terms of malls, commercial or whatever, manpower plays a vital role in that. So vital role means we need to make sure that the manpower that we are hiring has that quality. In the quality, it should not be fully dependent on the outsourced people, because around 80% of your people are outsourced generally, because you go for housekeeping services, for your engineering services, security, parking and all that. And everybody knows that, I mean, this cannot be on roll. So you have to be very much finicky and focused about the quality of people whom you're hiring. Number one. Number two, absenteeism is something which is very, very common in facility management, primarily in housekeeping services. Even if you talk about the engineering or some other, I think they are, by nature, it is almost 80-90% of fixed, apart from 10-15-20%, which is just the churning happening there. Otherwise, if you look at the housekeeping services, it is actually an area of pain when we talk about the manpower retention and all that. The good part is that we should implement R&R kind of activity. This is a very good tool when you want to have the kind of stability in the outsourced team. You train them well so that they don't even think of leaving your place. Give them a good remuneration. I'm not saying that give them at 200% salaries or something, but treat them well. So there are few things which, if we walk around, we'll be able to retain people there within our team. And that is not only the retention, but at the same time, we'll be able to, get a good quality also, because you are training them. So just have a, annual training calendar, put some kind of soft skills training, behavioral aspects and all that, and make sure that your people are properly trained, they are being handled properly. In that way, you will be able to retain people. From the quality perspective, let's be very choosy. This is what we also do in our day-to-day management, and when we are hiring people, we are very much cautious about the quality of the people. It is not that if you are hiring somebody, you should compromise on 2 or 3 things, though it is required in some parts, but it should not be like you're fully dependent on your outsourced team and just ask them to just hire people and give it to you and you deploy at your premises. Should be very, very strict in finalizing team, taking their interviews, understanding their qualities, and make sure that you have quality people. And I'm assuring you, having a quality quality people in your team with a good environment and handling, your more than 70-80% problems are sorted in property management.
I agree, Atulji. I mean, good to hear this from you, a technical expert in the field and been there across. So good. I fully agree. Ashwin, over to you.
Yeah. Yes, great points made by Atul sir. Our mall is 15 years old. We started in Coimbatore, and one of the challenges we had with respect to this is we couldn't even outsource a lot of these activities because we didn't get the right agencies at that point in time in a tier 2 city like Coimbatore. I don't know if others. So a lot of this stuff we had to take on our roles. In fact, we formed a maintenance company specifically for this and took them on that roles for that. So, but now things are changing, we are having, because I remember at that point in time, we had the security agency, there's an agency called ISS, right? So they came and they shut operations in Coimbatore because we were the only client in that city, right? And I think now they're re-entering because there are a lot more bigger facilities and clients coming, there are IT buildings coming up and so on and so forth. So And that was one challenge we faced, and how we overcame it was like, we had to form a separate entity which was dedicated to maintaining and housing all the maintenance staff. We had to take it on the rolls. That comes with its own pros and cons, right? Because then we have to give them the training, ensure that we have promotions, etc. So all that comes with its own HR challenges. See, housekeeping and security are, especially security, is like the customer front actually. This thing. So training becomes really, really important in soft skills. I think that's one area that we focus on, and having the staff in our own roles helps us to better control this training and this thing. Because when it's outsourced, what happens sometimes, you don't know who that person is sending, and you can't always dictate that you have to send this guy on. It's never that easy. It's not that easy. So that way it was an advantage. But yeah, like I said, we had problems as well. See, one challenge that I have found in the thing is in facilities management, we are not we are like a mid-sized mall, 5.5 lakh square feet all. We do have a services manager, etc. We find it difficult to do any tech adoption and take it at that level. So that is something that we have found. We have been finding challenging. This layer of staff, they don't adopt and adapt easily for tech. So that's something we are still working on, and I'll be great if somebody, the other panelists, actually give us solutions on this. That will be amazing. So our manpower staff is a challenge, but I guess things are changing a bit for us now in tier 2 terms.
Agree, Ashwin. Thanks. So Amit and Manoj, I'll frame this question a bit differently for you all, hearing out my colleagues now. R&R, everybody talks, and today we are at a platform where it's taken that whether it's from companies end or the mall owners end, this happens. So the question to you two both would be whether it is enough happening from both the sides or our end to keep the existing pool of employees happy. Second part, which still my friend Ashwin is struggling, is training and quality of technical staff. Is that a problem across cities in India? And how are you taking care of it from your company perspective? And how do you continue to give us, right quality, right team members 365 days a year? I mean, these three things, I would like Amit to start off and then Manoj also to add to it.
Sure, Sunil. Thank you so much for having us over. So I'll frame this entire thing in an aspect of mindset. I mean, as to what Atulji mentioned, that having R&R and all. So firstly, we come in as the first workforce coming in, and we consider ourselves as the extended brand ambassadors for respective malls. It's more of a human touch element that we try to bring in, and that is where the delight factor also comes in. We are all trying to aim for that score to go up. Customer delight is what definitely we all will be looking at, right? So having the right set of individuals starts directly from the pre-opening stage, right from the planning stage, identifying what are the requirements, what will be the deliverables that we are supposed to be looking at. As you mentioned, Sunil, that some of the most amazing malls which are coming over, they are placed right at the international standard level. So that kind of an upkeep is also a prerequisite when per se a housekeeping service is required, because that is one of the most challenging part in the malls, correct? So identifying the right individuals, giving them the training before they come in, hand-holding them, and sort of imbibing the culture of the organization with like for example, any mall that we enter, we have to understand the culture of that organization and mix it with the culture that Unify has, and then work together on getting that skill level of an individual to the optimum level, give them training regularly, and of course, the dynamics of mall operations is 24/7. So we have to find those times during every quarter or month in the beginning where we bring in the team, explain to them what is it that they are supposed to deliver, how is it that they are performing, what are the aspects that we have worked on for this quarter, appreciate that they've been part of the team for so long, understand each and every individual as to what is the consistency level with which they have been working, whether it is being consistent in their attendances or particular work that they are doing during their shifts, motivating them. And then of course R&R also has to be a memorable event because we create the buzz around it so much that everybody is looking forward to it, and it's icing on the cake when our customers also be a part of that R&R event. So we create that kind of a culture and people then look forward to it. Once we start doing this and it becomes a norm across the year, for example, and we are placing 4 R&R events or 5 or depending on what it is, it then builds into the blood of the employees that they are supposed to perform and even deliver better. Having them as employee of the month cap and all, of course a lot of organizations would be doing in our industry, facility management that is, but the way you execute those things and how you take it forward is what sets companies apart and different. So that is one important thing which of course Atul and you mentioned, we would like to highlight it. The other part of course would be the tech part, where even though this is a hospitality work that we do, it is more about human touch that we are supposed to, be banking upon. The tech part is primarily to understand the assessment that, the individuals are doing. Because in the larger frame of things, where we are looking at, quality of people, whether we are getting or not, mechanization is happening, costs might be increasing every now and then. Different states have increased their wages also. So all those factors also have to be considered. So an organization like us, Unify, have to invest into some tech, to see that the ROI will come in the next 1.5 year. We are okay to, partner up with those ideas. There are a lot of solutions, of course, during the course of this discussion. We can point out a few, so that it can help all the viewers also.
Thanks, Amit. Two great points which you emphasized and used the words like making them feel entering their blood and the ownership culture, and use of tech from your company side to get better ROI. That's, I think, so good learnings from your talk. Manoj, over to you.
Yeah, Sunilji, thank you so much. I feel there are basically 4 challenges that the mall operators generally would go through. Definitely, the topmost is the manpower, but then second is also the energy, which is a big cost, and third is the asset life cycle, because over a period of time it goes on aging and deteriorating, and fourth is the manual processes, because in India still we all believe in manual processes, and we also continue with that. So I think these are the 4 major areas that the mall operators ideally face as challenge. Now coming to the manpower front, facility management is all about I feel 5 M's. One is the most important is manpower for sure. Second is the method. Third is machinery. Fourth is material, and last is the measurement. I think if these elements are put together and you have the right manpower, where you are able to give them the right facility, you are able to give them the right wages, you are able to retain them, and you are able to track their productivity. I think that really makes sense, and that gives a complete satisfaction not only to the operators but also to the blue-collared working at the site. Generally, we have seen attrition majorly happening due to 2 reasons. One is on the ground of the supervisor or the immediate manager not treating them well, and second is even most of the time it comes as the customer is directly interacting with the blue collar and pushing them certain hazardous ways of working over at the site. So this is the second thing which generally we have seen as an attrition. And no doubt the wages is the last part. Minimum wages is something which goes with the housekeeping staff, but when it comes to technical, it is not under the minimum wages. Generally, they are paid higher. So we see whatever we do, however we have to deal with these issues. But I'll give you some examples where we are able to mitigate some of the problem when it comes to the manpower, talent retention, or attrition control. First, I see that there has to be a regular connect with the ground level team, and that is generally done by our key account managers. In OCS, we generally have two layers. One is the key account manager who keeps on interacting at the ground level with the teams on a regular basis. Second is the level which is called the zonal business manager, and he generally keeps on meeting once in a month or once in 2 months. Now, the very first principle of visiting a site is to ensure that you meet your colleagues at the site is the first thing. And if you do that, I think most of the challenges are resolved at the ground level, because generally the blue collared have their certain grievances they would like to discuss, they would like to get it clarified, and if that clarity is given to them, it makes life easy. So we have seen control when we are interacting regular with our ground level team. Secondly, we have also seen that if you provide an open channel for them to put out their grievances, like a 24/7 call center. So we have a 24/7 call center which is in UK, and this is in any language across the globe. It can be attended, and the resolution time is 24 hours, right? So this is some good practices that we have put in place, which really works very good for the blue collar. And finally, on retention, we have seen that if you actually pay them better than the minimum wages, and secondly, if you incentivize them on certain key parameters like their attendance, their productivity, their grooming, their reporting structure or way of reporting, I think the incentives really play a big role. And if some people get and some do not get, and they see the reason for the others to get, I think here the behavioral change comes in, and this is where it helps on the overall control. I will hold on here. There's a lot to say, but I think I'll just hold on here, Sunil. Thank you.
So thanks, Manoj. I mean, key takeaways from good points which you added on to what Amit said was R&R in a spread out way, where you back it up with incentivization, recognition, two-way communication or end-to-end communication always has helped you, and of course it helped all of us, and we should elaborate on that. So good ones. Manoj, you'll have to hold on, and I'll come back to you for my next question, which I would like you to start off on. We have been hearing in this section of the retail real estate business, a lot of technology being used abroad. A lot of tech startups in India are coming up with the same equipments but with text-based solution which help in maybe rationalizing things, like you use the word, avoiding manual interface in certain key tasks. I mean, I can understand beyond a point in everything it can't, but there are many ways which we have just lived traditionally. But today is a time where our country, being a tech evolved country, we are not seeing much in this field. We would like you and Amit to guide us, tell us where we are headed, what you all both have initiated in use in your projects or looking forward to use. Anything related to tech which is going to, over a period of time, maybe enable the skill set of the same manpower, give us desired result, take care of costing also, and better quality. So if you could summarize on few points, and then Amit can elaborate, and then I will go back to Atul and Ashwin.
Yeah, Sunil, this is a great question. IoT and AI and automation, things like, and smart technologies. These are something which is very close to my heart. I have been talking about this in the industry quite frequently, and let me tell you, industry is really picking up this very fast. The sectors that are very quickly picking up these technologies are data centers and aviation. We are seeing some movement happening in the retail sector also. To name couple of them, so in the engineering side or the hard services, most of the equipments can be now put with IoT sensors layered with software and artificial intelligence. So that really helps to eliminate the manual intervention of people actually going around the mall taking readings of the temperature or the air quality or the humidity. It also eliminates, the people going around every day taking readings of maybe 3,000 tenants, their electricity meter readings or the BTU meter readings or XYZ. So this is all now getting into a IoT solution. This also helps in a complete automation. So I'll just give you an example. In certain malls where I've seen in Singapore, in London, where things are such technologies are implemented. So Singapore, I would name the mall also Capital Mall, which we provide services there, Capital Land. So there, on each floor, typically, so just to come to on the soft service side also. So on each floor, there is a robot that actually goes around and cleans the common areas. And it's completely driven on an app. You actually put the floor layout, you put the robots, and they go and clean around that area. The second thing is cleaning the dustbins without, every time going after every hour, but there are sensors put in the dustbins. And once it is filled 80%, the sensor actually gives an alarm to the supervisor, and then the person goes and cleans the dustbin. Third is the smart washrooms, where it is need-based cleaning and not it is something to do with regular cleaning. Generally, we see that every washroom, we try to put one person over there to ensure that the hygiene cleanliness is continuously being maintained. But let's also understand that there are peak and non-peak hours, there are peak days and non-peak days. How do we really put our workflows? By implementing these smart technologies. So this is on the soft service side. When it comes to hard services, yes, again, sensors for each and every area, and then you actually track that through the IoT sensors and the software. And with the big data analysis, you actually come up with what really needs to be done as a maintenance, right? Because asset life cycle is also very critical. The more you are able to bring your assets on an efficient way of working, the better results you get. Secondly, your life cycle of the equipment enhances by maintaining it in a better way. So I'll just hold on here. Again, there are a couple of other things also as a case study I can mention if provided time is available, Sunil.
So Manoj, we will recap that at the end. Thanks. Amit, over to you on the same question.
Sure.
And guidance for all of us.
Sure. All right. So, see, mostly from the soft services angle, I did explain earlier that, it's more about deliverables and the human touch. And of course, Manoj also mentioned that as of now in our country, the norm, because of the high footfalls, of course, on peak and on peak days, it is a kind of a given that, it has to be manned and things like that. We do try out a lot of tech in terms of need-based cleaning and smart cleaning concepts, which enhances the entire experience for the people coming in. But one more thing, interestingly, what we observe giving services all across is certain pain points which malls do have is having a lot of eyes on the floor to see if there is any kind of a security threat or if there is any unwanted areas where people end up wandering into, whether it is a workforce employee or there can be 10,000 explanations in terms of that. So while we were thinking on those lines, we have our IT teams which actually came in with the thought process of bringing in a software layer, which is also along with the AI. And what they do is that whether it is your conventional CCTV cameras in the malls, they provide that layer on top of it, and we try to train that AI model by understanding if there is a kind of a object which is lying around for more than 10 or 15 minutes. It continuously scans it, and it can send out an alert to the respective individuals how we want to program it, along with a small snippet of it of a 5 or a 10 second that this kind of an object or a bag was placed here, and this is after that, and it's been few minutes that nobody has attended to it. What it does is, because a lot of our people are also on the floor and they may miss it, it's still a human intervention kind of a model that we are currently working on today. And we've tried to introduce it to some of our associations wherever we are, and they've found good value in that. Now, these kind of things are already being utilized by government platforms like parliament buildings and so on and so forth. And what we thought is that bringing this kind of a tool into malls, because these are large spaces that we are discussing over here, there's always an element of unwanted behavior that can come in. We can quickly track those, and the teams can respond to it quickly. Or say, for example, if you would want certain individuals, like for example, known faces, delighting them, if they walked into the mall, then alert goes on to the senior level mall operators, so that they can go, and from the marketing angle also they can do that. So we are trying to cohesively build the system over here, by us of course providing the soft services part to it, but also helping the malls in enhancing the entire look and feel and experience for their customers. Another challenge would be footfall collections, like for example Mr. Ashwin said that the mall is 5.5 lakh, and it's in a tier 2 city, and it's been 15 years that they've been operating there. But probably if we can help out in those kind of facilities or properties, which can add a small tick to getting the right data, and analyzing those kind of things can also be beneficial. You can have some areas cordoned off, and if anybody is entering those areas, it can straight away send an alert out to respective supervisors or the rounders, that they can go and stop that being from further getting into things kind of a zone. So there are multiple uses that we can do, and we've been trying to test that kind of a model, and we've been presenting to a lot of our customers. So if anybody would want to know that also, we'd be happy to arrange, from that angle.
So Amit, nice tips for us from you and Manoj. So we are going to make sure that commercially we properly exploit you and take all these benefits add on from your companies. Correct, sure. Ashwin, Atulji? I don't think so you share this when you're taking contracts with us. So thanks to Anjeev for having webinars like this. So we are getting your trade secrets for our next negotiations also.
Absolutely.
Atulji, would like you to take on this point. Good insight shared by Manoj and Amit. Thanks a lot. Really appreciate it.
Yeah. So I think let's bifurcate this task which we're talking about, digital tools and all this stuff, which is actually the requirement of today's era. Let's divide it into two parts. One is the equipments that are the major part in the facility management or any building management, be it retail or commercial or whatever. And the second is the management of services that we do, right? Both things, they need some tools, they need some kind of digital help to come up. So when we are talking about the equipment management, we are talking about the AI, artificial intelligence, and IoT-based BMS system. So BMS, which was known like IBMS, Integrated Building Management System, is now being called as a smart, intelligent BMS system with the help of AI and the IoT tools. So when we are working towards our equipments management, we do need these kind of support services in terms of the tech-enabled services. And we have to make sure that the IO summary that we are going to make about all, for all our equipments and all that is intact. So you need to make sure that what exactly you need from the building management system, what are the things that need to be monitored, what are the things which are required to be controlling, section. So first of all is that when you're using a tool, you have to be very clear then for what purpose you are using this tool. So if you are using this tool for the optimization of your equipments, for the efficiency improvement of your equipments, it has to be like that only. So any sensor or any artificial intelligence or IoT device that you're going to put, we have to make sure that things are intact there, and whatever analysis we want to do is being done properly. And that is the actually objective of implementing the IoT and AI based tool for the building management system. When it comes to the management of operations or the management of services that we are doing, we still need to come out. There was a time when we used to do some kind of registers, formats, this and that. In 2005-6, I still remember when I was doing the transitioning of India Exposition Mart. This is a big 5 lakh square feet of property. We were doing some kind of checklist, format, like Excel, Nikal, and you have the logbooks and all register and all that. And then gradually we moved to the Excel, PowerPoint, this and that, and we made some kind of good checklist, and then we moved to some other. Now there is a time when we need a tool for the management also, and there are few companies or the facility management companies in the market. They are offering their tool, as we discussed right now, right? They have their own tool. So even this is one of their USP when they are talking to the customers, and they are offering this, that we have that tool and you will be able to manage all your services and all your operation through this tool. So any reporting, be it MIS, your weekly management report, MMR, or your incident reporting, history card, anything, you name it, everything is there in that tool. So that means you need that tool, and by implementing that tool, when you are handling multiple properties, you will be able to get a complete dashboard of all your properties in one go, and you will be able to see what is happening and at which and what premises. So I think that's the tool which is helping you in day-to-day operations and management, and at the same time it is helping you in the equipment management. But as I said, we have to be very specific what actually we need out of that tool. Tools are there in the market. Market is full of these kind of tools. Everybody is selling like this. Even the manpower vendors are also taking that benefit of it, that we have that tool. But on ground, what is the implementation? How we are going to implement it? People are talking about IoT and all that. I met a couple of I would not name, but I met a lot of IPMS service providers, 5, 6 in one go. Everybody is talking about IoT, fancy items, this and that. When we took them on ground and talked about what is the difference in the conventional system and the IoT and based system, people are lost. They don't even understand what are the IO summary, right? So if we are just only talking about fancy items, will not work. We have to be practical enough. We have to be hands-on to understand where to use and how to use. I think this is very, very important for all the operators.
Rightly put, Atulji. And I think so the distinct advantage Manoj and Amit have is they are the user guys. And I understand your perspective. I share the same thoughts or apprehension at times, wherein our the whole heart of a complex. Yeah. If you start monitoring PPMs, AMCs just through tools, so sometimes there are results which are shocking, and then at times we try to come back to the conventional part. Yes, it's a new zone and has to be practice. But good part in our country is like Manoj was saying, data centers, I think so, use it to the maximum. Next is the aviation industry, and I think so they would be the torchbearers where we would also follow their footsteps and quickly pick it up. Ashwin, over to you. I think so this also addresses your concerns which you had on
exactly
quality and monitoring of what is happening daily to give you a comfort that your complex's heart is secure.
Yeah. So I think the points have been touched upon. I think largely touched upon, but I'll just add my 2 cents. I don't want to repeat it. See, we, like I said, right, tech adoption, I'm embarrassed to say this, but we've been pretty lagging as far as tech adoption is concerned, because we are not too big that we need the tech, and a little bit small as a facility. But I think, like they said, we are now evaluating multiple tools. So one challenge we've had is getting people to change the way they've done things for so long. that is the challenge that we've had with this stuff. And I think what this time we are going to have a more incremental approach. I thought, instead of like, if you're getting a facility management module which has issuing gate passes, incident reports, this BMS, everything, so all of this together, I think it's a little bit too overwhelming for them to also get everything. So I thought we should introduce it module by module, see compliance, then take the next step, and then do it, because there is definitely merits in implementing a lot of these tools, even when it comes to IoT BMS based devices. When it comes to metering, we really don't want to. A problem really, I mean, the mistakes we have made in the past is trying to go all or nothing sort of approach, which actually ended up with nothing. I think a sort of evolutionary instead of a revolutionary approach. Just take little steps, try to get that going, try to get, for example, like for fire and safety, we want like all the reports to be like, we have audits of all the equipment and things like that from a timely, so that we want to make this digital first, then we will come to something that's more frequent or greater in volume. So these are some things that we are trying to do it slowly instead of all at once.
Agreed, Ashwin. I think so. You've picked up and decided on your priorities in each section, and you would like to touch them, experiment them, get the culture change done, and then evaluate and move forward. I think so. That's the way for each one of us. I'll come to my next question, and I would like Atulji to start off on this. This is core to our hearts, whether as developers or our facility partners, wherein we all strive for better results, better customer satisfaction, whether it is our employee teams across our direct customers, our retailer staff, to create that differentiator all across, day in, day out, with a smile, whether it starts with a wishing to keeping our equipments running, and also same time keeping their morale high. How have we all tried to achieve this? I mean, there's almost 100 years of plus experience in all of us sitting here. I would like each one of us to share some great examples which has worked for y'all, which y'all have tried and tested as a company along with other partners and are strongly taking it forward.
Sure. So customer experience, when we say customer, there are two kind of customers that we have. One is the direct customer, that are our tenants who are paying rent, who are paying CAM. And the second is the customer who's actually the real customer, who is going to our customer to buy something, right? Actually, the real customer. So unfortunately, we are the ones who are providing services for both these kind of customers. So when people come in and the moment they step into the mall or something, the first touch point is security and parking, right? So, and the moment your customer comes to your mall, your security should be properly trained. They should, also, security has got two aspects. One is, of course, the checking and all that, but at the same time, they should be mild enough to, handle customers. That's the first experience of the customer that the customer gets when he enters in the mall. And the second is the parking. They should get proper place to park their car. They should be properly handled. The kind of commercials which are attached to the parking should be reasonable. And the safety is also prime when they park their cars or something. And when you are providing valet service or something, I think nothing better than that. So that cherry on the cake. So I think that's something you can do. The betterment is if you handle those on these 2 points. And the moment when they get inside, right? So anything which is related to them, I mean the signages and everything which is leading. So I'm a customer when I'm into the mall and I'm going for apparel or something. I want to go the apparel brand, and there are the signages are not enough to give me a little look of this mall. I'm the first time I'm there in the mall. I need to know that where that brand is. If I am finicky about the brand, if I want to go to that brand only, or if I need to know that where is what. So if I am trying to find out some shops, I need to talk to some gentleman who can give me a little snap, idea about the mall, where should I go and not. The help desk which is there in the mall is the first point of contact for that person to help in any ways. That person should also be good, and that person is part of your team. So you make sure that the first person or the FOE or any person that you are, keeping there in the mall should be good enough to handle people, should have good quality of hospitality and all that. That makes a lot of difference, number one. Number two, when I'm talking about the customers who are there inside, who are busy in their day-to-day businesses, they don't even want to take care of any electrical, mechanical, HVAC, where the water is coming from, why the light is not there. They are busy in their business. And our duty is to make them busy in their business so that we can take care of their need. And that is what we are there. So it is a sense of hospitality that is there. So if you want to please that customer, please make sure you have a very good customer handling system. There's a very good complaint management system. Today, as we just discussed back about the technical and the digital tools and all kind of stuff, there are very good tools in the market who gives you very good analysis on all your customer complaints management and work request management system. We are also implementing in all of our properties. And by doing this, it is immediate. There is a SLA, there is a tag behind every activity, and that has to be attended within a minute. It should be attended within a minute. I think that's make a lot of difference when you talk to the client and give them a good service. These are the touch points for these kind of customers. So for outer customer, as I said, security, parking, washrooms, very important. For internal customers, all their facilities, be it technical, cleaning, air conditioning, whatever should be intact. And since we handle visible and non-visible part of property management, the visible part is very much there. Everybody can even talk about it. Safai nahi hai, it's not clean, AC is not working fine, I'm feeling too cold, I'm feeling too hot. Very visible. But nobody talks about what is happening inside the back of house. Nobody wants to go to your chiller plant to see what is the temperature of your chiller. Nobody wants to go to the terrace and see what is the condition of your cooling tower. But actually, these are the things which are impacting your overall delivery. So when things are not moving in the back of house, you will not be able to manage your facilities within the mall or within your facility. So we also have to make sure that the people who are working in the back of house are good and handling things properly so that you can easily handle your client. These client management is very, very important, but we have to make sure that things which are impacting those areas should be taken care of.
Atulji, I mean, very nicely and explained in an excellent, simple way. You've touched the heart, you've touched our mind, and you've touched all the nerves. Okay, good. Thank you. I mean, emphasizing on it. Amit, would you like to add on to this?
Amit, before you start, I request all my viewers, if you have something in your mind, if you want to ask any question, please post it. Our panelists will answer at the end of the session. Okay, thank you. Please go ahead.
Yeah.
So yes, I mean, having all the tools is also a great idea. Ashwin also mentioned, Atul also mentioned that, probably going all in or implementing would become a challenge, or, how you want to roll it out. Most important is always the implementation challenges that everybody suffers, right? I mean, that is the whole plan over here. You can have the best system, but if it is not implemented on ground and you don't start getting the results out of it, that is where the challenge comes in. That challenge is specifically because the people either are not taking much interest in it, or they are changing quite often, and that again is the attrition problem, and no training happening, and so on and so forth. So that culture building again, which I told you about, is perfectly apt in this kind of a scenario, where what we are doing, I'll tell you, is that a lot of people are coming in from hotels into facility management, and we are trying to. We've discussed with our clients also that they would want to, have that kind of a look and feel of a 5 or a 7-star hotel, to keep up. But there are some practical challenges purely because of the footfall that we are catering to in malls, correct? But having some sort of an element towards it by training the people in that aspect, having their interpersonal skills, like how Atul mentioned, like, going up to a help desk and how they are treating and providing that, and the tag time which is required. So all these things would require training. One way of us doing that is like, implementing dedicated training modules from learning from different areas, states, different malls, organizations, and so on and so forth, and see how we can leverage that into particular premises. Second aspect is what we do internally for our employees is we work towards their behavior modification. Now, that aspect, what we learned over a period of years is what is the best and a seamless way of getting that implemented is by rewarding those individuals, right? So again, people who are willing to come to work dedicatedly as per their shifts or rosters which are being created, incentivize them if they've been working. If they are referring some individuals to come in and join the organization, again, make them part of the onboarding process for that particular referral that they are coming into. So they will see that if on a continuous basis, if that other gentleman or a lady is working for 5 days continuously and sixth day they have not showed up for work, then that particular individual will again do the part of the HR push part and call them and convince them to come to work because there's an incentive idea attached to it. So people get, what we understand through this data is that incentivizing people and rewarding people at the right time and having those triggers really makes this kind of an implementation faster process. Because we would be working, say for example, for 1 million square feet mall, there would be any time about 100 people, for example, deployed, right? So what are those things which can keep them ticking towards ensuring the takt times for cleaning for the internal customers is done properly and incentivizing them for the 90 or a 95% job that they have done well. So these kind of tools we have built internally and we've rolled it out to cater to our clients. What's next? Say for example, if there are certain things planned out for a particular day in a mall, and we want to shoot it out to all the employees who are working for the upcoming thing, we can do that as a circular, particularly for the mall in any regional language that we may be operating in, and we can shoot it out to them so that they are instantly aware that these are the things that we are supposed to take care or be aware of. So you don't have to call them for a huddle session and then again do a brief or something like that. Instantly they will get to know all those ideas, what is happening across. So these kind of things, what we are doing are those small tangible things which can help cater to a combined objective to achieve.
Okay, thanks Amit. I think so you've also summarized it along with Atulji. Just before I open up to the Q&A sessions, I would like to extend on this point of client satisfaction. How today we as a developer company, when we are planning or taking over a mall, think right from the stage of design. I'm sure all the mall development companies do that, is sitting with our design team, whether it's MEP, our international consultants or Indian consultants, right from the need of each retailer's requirement of electricity, HVAC is planned. Requirements of each department like marketing for a decor hanging to housekeeping points on each floor, charging points on each floor is planned in advance so that it's not a later on exercise. The whole idea is to keep that teams happy and to give a fresh look always, to keep a asset which has just started today or after 5 years or 8 years also look new and excellent. So again, all this relates to customer satisfactions all around. That's where the industry has gone today from what it was 10-15 years back. And yes, we are still striving. We talk to people like you and Manoj before, when we set up a new mall, we talk to other marketing agencies, we go back to our equipment providers and we lock in our AMCs for 5, 8, 10 years. We build in efficiencies for decades together. So that at the end, like Atulji was specifying, if all that is taken care and just maintained properly, the end result of customer satisfaction on a peak day in a food court or an atrium, you give the right temperatures and keep them happy and smiling. So thanks Ashwin, thanks Atul, thanks Manoj and Amit. This conversation again leads to a lot of more knowledge to be shared, more platforms like this to come up, I feel, Anjeev, and we will come up with topics so that more and more discussions like this can come up. But just putting across to all the attendees, for any questions and answers this panel can answer. I believe I can.
Sunil, anonymous attendee, we have got a question. How difficult or easy is it to keep up the grooming soft skills standards along with the actual facility management, especially when it comes to hard services and we are dealing with working with grease, working at height, etc., where most of the times grooming goes for a toss, even at customer touch point.
So, Amit, you want to take that?
Yeah, sure, Sunil. So yes, it is about repetition. The whole idea is about repetitive process that we have to do. Individuals who are not in the best grooming standard, they have to be, reprimanded. They have to be told. They have to be explained. And by pure repetitiveness, it has to then inculcate that this is a dignity aspect also. They should take pride in what they are working towards. What are the goals that they are trying to achieve? Only through that, I believe we've seen success. You have to have a very keen eye towards it. The briefing, the supervisors, the manager, right from the entry aspect. All those things have to be really looked into minutely. It is a cumbersome process during the start, but once you see that 60, 70, 80% of the workforce is adhering to those things, and those are clear policies which have been established and implemented, then people start doing that as a second nature. Of course, during the project stage when we are working, it is a different aspect that time because it's not open to all the customers then. But then once the switch happens at the, from the go live date, that is the time when these aspects have to be minutely addressed. So you have surprise visits, you go and, check on it, you try to upskill them, you try to train them, you try to talk to them, what is the challenge that they are facing, if there's anything from our side that can be done. In earlier days, we've also put in tailors, at malls, specifically to ensure the altering and the proper length, measuring, fitting is also done for the employees so that they look in the best form possible. Because at the end, as I mentioned, we are extension of your brand. We are the brand ambassadors as well. So that's the only way I have seen being more successful than ever.
Thanks, Amit. Nicely put up and shared. A small point like a tailor for the staff uniforms to be altered and keeping the new staff motivated. Good ones.
Sunil Siddharth Shirodkar. Sorry, yeah, please continue. You were saying something.
Is it advisable to hand over facility management to third parties like CBRE or Colliers and mall team is more focused on business? There are no answers to this as right or wrong. Again, it dwells from your company culture, how much you are willing to let go, how much you are involved in other things. All the models work. Internationally, yes, IPCs lead the frame. In our country, it's a mixed bag. But again, Siddesh, to answer your question, there is no right answer to it. It comes up from how best you manage a team, how you get things done, and what kind of results you want.
Sunil, Mr. Burhanuddin Safi, he is asking, we are currently facing challenges with excessive and unmanaged footfall in the washroom area, primarily due to food delivery personnel and nearby labor staff frequently loitering in the facility. This is significantly impacting our efforts to maintain hygiene and cleanliness standards. Could you please share your suggestions or possible measures to control this usage and uphold the hygiene level?
So in new malls, sorry, please.
Sorry, here, because we also face this thing, we're trying to solve this in a different way. We are having like an exclusive waiting area and working with Swiggy and Zomato, so where these guys don't have to enter the mall itself, the facility itself. So we have a dumb waiter where all the deliveries get sent to a separate area, they can park, and for them also it reduces their turnaround time because delivery speed is a big deal for them. And for us, this challenge of Swiggy, Zomato guys, crowding the elevators, escalators, toilets, and other infrastructure in the mall also reduces. This is how we are addressing the challenge. We've not fully implemented it, but we have started it. We've ordered, seen a zone. We are providing it with seats, some toilets, etc., and see how it goes. Yeah.
So
I don't know
think so,
about
Ashwin, you answered it correctly. In new malls, everyone is planning. We already plan, or everyone already plans for staff toilets. But yes, for Swiggy, Zomato, Blinkit, other guys, there is a separate infrastructure wherever possible, whichever mall. I think so they have done it or planning to. But to answer our gentleman's question, it is best to segregate in whatever best way. It is best to monitor on their peak times, monitoring the traffic when these guys enter, create a temporary facility also which will not hamper your customer experience, and in the long run have a separate setup. I mean, these are the best solutions.
Yeah, you're right. I think having a separate setup would work a lot. We also implemented that all. Keep one area designated for these people, let them be there, put a good signage there, and make the awareness also among all these people. Tell them to sit there, and just generalize how they take the order from the food court and how they take it and go out of the mall. So you have, in fact,
yeah. And the numbers speak for themselves. They dominate 15 to 20% of your F&B business plus other retail businesses also at time. Yeah. So it justifies having separate infrastructure. And in fact, at one of our malls, we have the center head has gone ahead and experimented a separate calendar of events for these guys, which helps.
Yeah.
What is the thought on moving to SLA based? To mall owners, we have seen manpower remains a challenge in all malls. What is the thought on moving to SLA based contract instead of manpower? I think so. Today, all our contracts are SLA based. Amit and Manoj are here. And so is their contracts with all leading mall companies or across industries. And it is a very balanced SLA wherein either party can't be taking advantages of each other. There are debates, there are discussions, and there are arguments also. So that's life. And I think so industry has moved on from the earlier days of 2001 to 2025. And it's a fair playground. We have, in the course of this 25 years, seen 2 recession cycles, unfortunate incident, 2 years of COVID, wherein we all have come out strongly as partners, and we continue to do that. So that's a passé. I mean, the staff shall innovate ideas and try to do cost saving, and management shall encourage it. It is happening regularly. So, Mr. Syed Muniz, your point taken, and I think so all companies encourage this practice, and that's why motivation level remains high. So, good takeaways from this discussion. I will just summarize it now, wherein we were made aware of new technologies being adopted by facility companies, which just to share with you all, we are using such technologies across our parking management. When what Mr. Amit was mentioning, we are, and many malls I know are using facial technologies to block unwanted elements or to surprise their VIP customers also. So that is happening today. And like Manoj was mentioning, it's more in data centers and airports. But we are adapting and we are open to adoption at our assets. Yes, on peak time management, that's a different cycle which we all have come up to greatly handling it across our busy seasons, busy weekends in a planned way. And we continue to keep on improvising. There is a lot to be done from all our ends. Leaving the thought again to Anjeev and requesting him that topics which couldn't be touched like parking management or on the aspect of ESG, he should work around with his team and come up with one more discussion panel on the same. Any other thoughts which you all have not been able to share, Amit, Manoj, Atulji, Ashwin, I mean, on today's topic, which you would like to share with attendees before we wind up?
I think we have spoken on all aspects. I believe one of the prime thing, which is energy management, is something that we could talk about a lot on this, which has got a major role in mall management or any real estate establishment management. So energy management, I think we can discuss on it, and we can talk about 2-3 bottom line things which are related to the energy management. Let's not get into the detail of how the energy work equal to root 3 VI cost by and all that. Rather than doing it, let's understand how we can save the energy, because there are only two costs which are prime in the property and facilities management. One is power and second is manpower. Manpower we already discussed. Power is something that we want to discuss about. So when we talk about power or the energy management, the first thing that is there in the market, everybody talks about it, whether they talk in terms of the ESG or they talk about in terms of the environment control, or they talk about in terms of carbon footprint or emission control and all that. Primarily, it is coming, it is just shaping around and coming back to the point wherein how to save or how to conserve energy, right? And saving is one, earning is one. Either you go for your betterment in the earning, or you do something for the saving. So earning means earning in the sense that you have electricity power which is coming directly from the board. You have your DG or the captive power plant which is there in your building, and both are running and they are producing electricity, and you can control that and you can control your usage. Now the same thing is that why should we use the energy that is coming from these sources, the EP and DGs? It's a fuel that's been there in the DG sets, and we are burning HSD or diesels and all that, or the power that we are getting from different thermal power plants or some other power plant is actually leading to the carbon emission. How to control is to let's go for the green energy. And when we are going for a green energy, the one and only option in front of us is solar. Solar is something which is free of cost. That's up to you how you want to take the green power out of that source. And sourcing solar in different terms, either you go for your on-site plant, or you go for the off-site plant, or you opt for the open access or greenhouses kind of a agreement with the power purchase agreement with third-party person for the PPA agreement, and you buy some solar power from the third party or the off-site solar plants that you can do. We are also doing it. We have got a lot of so we have our internal capacity also in terms of solar. So we have got all buildings have got at least from 10 to around 20-30% of the total power consumption is something that we can take it from our own side. So we have solar plants on our top of the mall. We are using it from 4, 5, 6% somewhere, even somewhere 20%. We are also getting this from our rooftop solar plant on site. So if the place is available, you want to put your capex, you can go for it and use these green energies. You want to do conventional energies and work for the emission control and all that, carbon footprint control, which in turn will beautify your ESG report, obviously.
Fine, Atulji. Thanks. I mean, agree to all your points.
Sunil, if I can add here
sure.
to what Atulji mentioned about green power, there are typically in the retail malls, 60% of the power is consumed by the cooling or the chillers or the HVAC, right? So a very simple thing that we have done in one of the mall in Indore is by implementing ATCS, which is automatic tube cleaning system, typically which is for the water cool chillers. You won't believe the ROI is less than 1 year, and the savings are enormous, right? So we did two things. One, we actually started with providing the ATCS, and we came up with a model of boot model. We installed it and we were to operate it, run it, and then transfer it over a period of 5 years. In the first year itself, the whole installation cost and everything was recovered, and the client said nothing doing, now you hand it over to us in 1 year, and we did that. But just to bring this to everyone's notice, this is the very simple, straightforward way where your chiller's efficiency goes up, your power consumption goes down, and in 1 year you are able to recover the money that you have put in the capex. Thank
Yeah.
This
Agree.
is BTCS, is it?
It's an auto
It is-
tube cleaner
Yeah.
for the
It is-
chillers.
Yes, the auto tube cleaner that you put in the chillers for your descaling that is required at every year of something that you do based on your head pressure. You don't have to bother about the head pressure why it is going beyond 3, 4 or something, and then you need
Absolutely.
descaling. You don't need descaling if you have the system in place.
Yeah.
But actually, this is the system which is not giving you direct impact. It is not even telling you in numbers what is the saving. But you need to do your own analysis and your own calculation to arrive whether what ROI it is giving. So ROI is not written or it's not there. You have to understand that how long you are running the chillers, what are the capacity of your chiller, what is the total kilowatt, what is the consumption for that particular period wherein you didn't need to do any kind of descaling. It's a complete calculation that you need to do. So that's the second thing.
It's a separate, It's a separate subject altogether, depending from quality of water to what you're using and your approach temperature.
So it is like when you use VFDs. Let's say I'm telling you how to save the energy. This is one of the point that we discussed, that use this auto tube cleaning system. You can go for the VFDs if it is only working. The speed is getting control, and you are saving energy by doing different analysis due to that. But this is not displaying what energy you have saved, but you have to do your own analysis. But when you are working towards getting some energy from outside, it is actually directly giving you the numbers, how much you saved in terms of having your own green power station, whether on site, off site, or whatever. So 2 ways, but we can save energy.
We are open to audits for any site. We can give a complete audit done, give a complete ROI, and we, as it would be completely done on a free of cost basis, the audit, and we are ready to do that. And the second thing I would like to elaborate is the predictive maintenance, which also gives around 20% of savings, and it also helps on the outages, around 70%. It's a average standard in India that is considered. Around 70% outages are saved or not happening because of the predictive maintenance. And and one of the important things that can be done here is RLA, is ascertaining the remaining life cycle of an asset, which is very important. Thank you, Sunil.
Agree. Yeah.
Thanks, Atul.
So,
Thanks, Manoj.
Should we conclude this session, or you want to share some more points? That's a very
We all are fine. I think so. Manoj and Atul have added whatever they felt was left out, and
Ashwin,
which was very.
anything coming to your mind, please?
Sir, I think Atul sir has covered the green energy, but I think that requires a separate
Session.
session
We
itself.
will have a session on this subject very shortly.
Because one thing we are also exploring now, because I'll take this offline with Atul sir later. Yeah.
I think we'll talk. Ashwin will talk about it, and it is actually a subject. I'll tell you, the facility management is actually, it is a box. I'm telling you, it is not a department. It is not one subject. You have, you can talk for hours on any subject, and this is one of the favorites one that you're saying, Ashwin. We can talk on this energy management and all this stuff. This will need a separate time for you so that you can get into each and every detail.
So, Atul, next webinar will be on energy management only, maybe sometimes in the month of June.
Sure. Yes.
So thanks to Anjeev from all of us. Thank you all.